Hey Team Nexus, this is United with Nexus Investments and welcome to the Nexus Trading Room. Today I'll be going over a trade recap on AMD and Tesla, providing a video so that you can learn how to master the trend line and spot when a stock is ready to correct down to the next level. Before we start, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and comment. Ready to roll? Let's go. So here, first talking about AMD. What I like to do before, as the market is starting, I like to allow 30 minutes to 1 hour before we make a trade. I like to watch the market, see where the market's going, see what the investors and everybody's thinking. If we're gonna have a bullish day, if we're gonna have a bearish day. So I'm sifting through my watch list. Use TradingView.com, and I have a bunch of stocks up, maybe about 60 of them. And I'm just sifting through the tabs, seeing what setup looks right, taking my time, having patience, and I suggest you do the same. So I came across AMD, which already took a leg down here. So it's already pretty bearish. I'm big on EMA trading. So I have all my EMAs up and running. So I have the 10, I have the 21, I have the 50, I have the 100, I have the 200. And now my newly added EMA that I love is the 400 EMA. And I'm going to show you today why the 400 EMA is really good to have, and in addition to all the rest of your EMAs that everybody else knows about. So once we took a leg down here, we started consolidating in this area above the 200 EMA. And I knew at this point, two things are going to happen. Either we're going to get a bounce off these 200 EMA or we're going to rejection off the 2 EMA and go to the next level. So I'm also big into trading levels as well. So I marked this range here, and this is the previous range where all the candles were bouncing off. And I know that once we lose this level of support, we're going to head down to the next level of support. So how do you know what the next level of support is? Well, being an EMA trader, I'm going ahead and going to assume that likely the price is going to drop to this 400 EMA, and then from there, it's going to bounce. So my trade plan is to enter on the breakdown of this consolidated structure. I will enter. That's confirmation for me. And trading stock options is all about probability and it's all about likelihood. So I'm going to enter in this range here and I'm exiting here. I'm not going to keep going. If it keeps dropping, I don't even care. Like, this is part of my plan. This is what I'm going to do, because in stock options, it's all about volatility and it's all about volume and price action. Once the stock slows down and starts going sideways, you start losing theta to theta, which is part of the Greek. So if you don't know what theta is, get into the Greeks and learn. But as time goes on, you start losing value on your contract and you need to just get out of there. That's why it's all about a big, fast move. You hop out of there and you're done for that trade. So I'm gonna go ahead and play out what happened here, and you can see in real time what's going on. So you can see I had a big engulfing candle. At some point during that 5-minute candle, I took the entry, which is below this previous structure here. As you can see, it also was a bear flag. So you need to learn your chart patterns as well. So you can see that I drew a line here. I drew a line here to create a bear flag. Also, if you're an Elliott wave trader and like to trade based on a 5-count impulse wave or an ABC correction, you also can count that you would have had a wave down one here, then retracement wave back up here, and then one more wave to the C down there, which is a nice ABC correction. So that's also another way to get an eye. And as you're learning through all the strategies and indicators that we have in options, you can start to just know these things. So it's all about getting in the books, studying your craft, mastering it. So going back to my entry here below the structure and my trade plans to get out when we got into the range of the 400 EMA, I did that. I locked in profit, and my gain actually peaked at about $1,100. But as it tried to retracing back, I went ahead and said, this is the confirmation that's going to bounce. And I went ahead and locked in profit at $896. So, and that's it for trading the breakdowns of levels and market structures. So moving on to Tesla. I also gave this trade out to the group. Along with AMD, I gave the Tesla trade out too. And trading, being a technical trader is not some of these things where you just have to stare at the charts all day. You know, I went out and did stuff. I was busy. I had time during, you know, a moment of a break where I was able to check the charts. So I went and checked the charts out. And Tesla's like big on everybody's mind, and Neo with Neo Day coming up. So I always keep Tesla on the watch list. Always check on to see how it's doing. So when I'm looking at trying to get in the trade to see where everything's at, you know, I start drawing my trend lines. So trend lines are very important. The algorithms that the institutions program into their auto trading system, they use these parameters such as trend lines, and all these different EMAs and other strategies and indicators are incorporated in their algorithm, and they respect these and they trade these levels here. So you see here, when I started watching this trade is about in this area, and I was like, okay, I went ahead and drew a trend line, which is a resistance trend line I marked in yellow. Now a trend line can be drawn with 2 points of reference. So I was able to draw this all the way out. We don't know where it's going, but I drew this out. That's 1 point of reference, and you have 2 points of reference, and that's all you need to draw a trend line. Same thing with the support trend line. I went ahead and marked it at the beginning of the day, the first drop before the spike. And I went ahead and marked the last level of support that was drawn here. And I went ahead and just marked it out. And I noticed that we have really good support here because this level was drawn here. You also have this breakdown, but also bounced off this level here. So that's support. Then you have another drop here, and you have other movements here. So I know that it's a good trend line support. So the trade plan is, as long as this bounces off the trend line, at the same time bounces out of the resistance trend line, I know that we're moving into a positive direction. So by probability and likelihood, the direction is up. So my trade plan is, as soon as this candle breaks the trend line, I know that it's not moving in the direction that it was moving here on this previous candle when it rejected and this previous candle rejected. That means we have a trend change. Therefore, we're going to start uptrending back to the upside. So I went ahead and enter on the break of this resistance trend line, and I'm exiting here at the previous resistance, local resistance here. Now you have resistance points here. You have resistance points here in this structure. You have resistance points here in this structure. And this is a big structure here. If you go ahead and mark your supply and demand zones, you can mark this up as a supply zone being here as well. And if you want to learn about supply and demand zones, check out our other videos where Tom takes you through supply and demand zones on how to master that. He also takes you through trade recaps on different stocks and how the price reacted to supply and demand zones, so you can master that as well. All right, I'm gonna play this out and see how our trade plan end up working out or not. So you see, every single one of these candles is 5 minutes. I use this 5-minute time frame for trading. It is like my favorite time frame. Although you want to look through all time frames, you want to do your top-down analysis from the 1 day all the way down to the 5 minute and 1 minute. So as you can see, we broke out the trend line. I decided to take the trade. I sent the trade out to the community, to the Nexus Discord group. I told them to buy the open Tesla. And this is my trade plan. This is what I was doing. I told them to buy the open Tesla 15 January 860 call. So as you can see, we entered here, and it took 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes to reach our point where we decided to get out of the trade. So what I like to get out of the trade is, if I see this spiking up, I like to wait till the candle closes. Once the candle closes and open up red, I was out the trade. So I'm not even going to mess around with any kind of pullbacks, even though you may have some. I'm a scalper, and as a scalper, I'm trading 5 to 10 minutes. I get in on volume and price action, and I get out. We're going to play the rest of this out because, as you can see, the trade end up coming up, retracing, coming up, retracing, and ending the day strong right into our supply zone. So if I was trading demand and supply zones, you can wait to the levels above. So, and that's all I have for this recap video. You now learn how I went about trading Tesla using trend lines, resistance trend lines, and support trend lines. And you learned here how to trade using chart patterns and breakdown of structure using the exponential moving average to EMAs. I took $896 on this trade, and I took a quick $305 on this trade for a total of 1.2K today. And I'm pretty happy with it. You ain't got to make all your money at the beginning. You know, you can wait to the end, because at the end of the day, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Because you can have a bunch of green trades at the beginning and take one bad trade, you know, FOMO, get emotional, don't sell, don't trade your plan, and you can lose everything that you just gained at the beginning of the day. So it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And that's all I have. If you want to get into our trading community, click on this Discord invite link in the description so you can learn as you earn. This is a community of like-minded traders. Until next time, ensure you're always studying to perfect your craft. Trade safe, plan your trade, trade the plan, because in the Nexus, every day is payday. In the Nexus, we trust.